So Hare Krishna Mataji, would anybody like to start reading? Today's paragraph starts with early every morning, Mataji.
Gomati ki Mataji, if she is, or Laltangi Mataji, or else I can go Mataji, if they don't want to.
Kamodaki Mataji and Laltangi Mataji, would you like to start, Mataji?
Okay, Mataji, I can start reading.
Okay, sure, Mataji.
Early very morning, Prabhupada would go on a walk, usually in a volunteer park, where he walked by the reservoir. I think I have to...
Yeah, you are on two connections, Mataji. It's echoing.
Kamodaki Mataji, you are on mute, Mataji. We cannot hear you.
Oh, okay. I have to wear glasses because they are very small writing. I can't see.
Oh, okay. Wait. Is it fine, Mataji, now?
Yeah. Little bit bigger will be fine. Where he walked by the reservoir. I lost. Reservoir path around the reservoir perimeter. What is it?
Perimeter, Mataji. Yes.
Yeah, perimeter was several times long, several miles long, and although some of the young men would become exhausted from the walk, Prabhupada enjoyed it. One morning, while Jayananda was walking with Prabhupada, they approached a man who had just pulled a fish out of the water. The fisherman held up his catch, dangling it, offering it to Prabhupada. Anyone for a fish dinner? The man asked cheerfully. Prabhupada smiled. No, you enjoy. Prabhupada kept walking until he was past the man and then added, and so forth. They also walked in an area filled with many rose bushes and many birds. Peacocks roam freely. It is the small writings. It is written in the which are places where the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Did I miss a line?
Yes, Mataji. It is written in the Shastras that wherever a saintly person.
The Shastra that wherever a saintly person goes, become a tirtha or a place of pilgrimage. In India, my picture is here. How is it? Okay, I cannot read a few lines. How can I remove this? My picture is there, and it covers lighting. In India and something, which are places, many tirthas, most of which are places where the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his great devotee enacted some leela. There are so much Tirthas, however, in America, but but after Prabhupada's preaching, beginning in New York City, in places like 26 Second Avenue, at Park, and later Lake Park, at Suva Lake. I can read the word this morning. Venice Beach, or volunteer park. Then even there are American places became these American places became the Tirthas. For Prabhupada's followers, the place significant, never to be forgotten sites. Writing persons little difficult. Prabhupada took advantage of the presence of the traveling Sankirtan party in Seattle, Washington. How can I remove my picture here? Like writing.
Mataji, you can tap on that and drag to the other side, Mataji, maybe.
Other side?
Yeah, other side. If there is a corner on the left hand side, if it is not disturbing your reading.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
He told Tamal Krishna he wanted to organize this World Sankirtan Party with 12 men, 12 women, and himself going all over the world. But for the present, the devotees went out daily in the downtown city in Seattle. Citizens were assembled to see young Americans with human heads, dressed in robes, women in saris, playing cymbals and singing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. The devotees would chant Hare Krishna for hours, give out cards with the Mahamantra printed on them, and sometimes bring people back to the temple. As a result, attendance was good at Prabhupada's evening lectures, with the devotees in the streets during the day and Prabhupada speaking at night. The day was lecture, quickly becoming spiritualized. Therefore, each evening, a small cedar wood angle to the temple dome of Lord Jagannath was filled with considerable transcendental excitement. Filled with an undesirable excitement. So Prabhupada, it was very encouraging to lecture to a whole crowded with both disciples and guests. After the evening is everyone would sit on the floor, and some people would even stand outside the house looking in and listening at the windows. Prabhupada invariably began by chanting in a strong, simple melody the refrain, the word is called the certain Aditya in Govindam Adipurushan Bhajan, that everyone would repeat it with he would half a dozen times and then begin his next. I'll stop here, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Kamodiki Mataji. Thank you so much.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, would anybody like to start reading from Prabhupada's teachings of Lord Chaitanya?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, can I read?
Sure, Mataji.
Prabhupada's teaching of Lord Chaitanya had recently been published, and he often lectured by having a devotee read out loudly. Prabhupada would listen, and even whenever he felt moved to. One second, Mataji. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Whenever. Where is it gone? Where is that, Mataji? I have to. Okay. Okay. Loud. Okay. Prabhupada would listen, and whenever felt mood out, he would interrupt and begin speaking. This Krishna conscious movement, Prabhupada explained as to be understood through the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. He appeared in Bengal, pronounced in India 500 years ago, and he specifically preached the Krishna conscious movement to execute the order. We have come to your country. My request is that you try to understand this Krishna conscious movement with all your knowledge, scrutinizingly. Do not accept it blindly. We have this book, Teaching of Lord Chaitanya, and other books also, many books, so try to read them. And we have our magazine Back to Godhead. We are not sentimentalists, that we are simply dancing. Dancing has not great value, that if you dance with us, you will feel. It is not that some crazy fellows are dancing. The most intelligent persons are dancing, and yet it is so nicely made that even a boy like he is a boy, he can take part. Prabhupada emphasized that Krishna consciousness was universal. It was full of sound philosophy, and yet it was very simple. The simple message was God is great, and He is a part and parcel. And we are his part and parcel. And to prove it, he gave simple examples. The hand is a part of a body and has a great value when working as a part of whole. A small screw is a type in the typewriting machine is very valuable as long as it is working as a part of a machine. Otherwise, it is useless. Similarly, unless the individual spirit soul engage in devotional service to Krishna, he is incomplete. Prabhupada spoke some basic Krishna consciousness for about a half hour, and then asked for questions. Always at least a few hands raised. He recognized the outsiders first. It was not unusual in those days to find young people, college student and hippie asking cosmic questions, finding dabbling in yoga and Eastern philosophy. Often, however, they had many different things on their minds, including drugs, and very frequently confused confused. But Prabhupada experienced with over 3 years of constant preaching to young Americans had already heard almost anything they could possibly ask. Young man, is there a communication that is not the word itself but beyond words? Paras, a vibration reaching for the Om. I mean, does one attain a communication, something understood between you and myself and my brother, an experience like the sound dom or Is there something else beyond the verbal? Yes, Prabhupada explained these Hare Krishna man, Hare Krishna uh, replied, yes. Prabhupada, yes. Man, what can you tell me? How is this can be? How to talk that language all the time rather than English or other languages? Prabhupada, it does not matter that Hare Krishna can be sounded in Sanskrit only. You can sound it in English tone also. Hare Krishna, is there any difficulty? These boys are also sounding Hare Krishna just like the piano. If you touch, there is a dung. It does not matter whether an American is striking or Indian is striking or Hindu or a Muslim. The sound is sound. Similarly, this piano Hare Krishna, you just touch it, it will sound. That's all. Sometimes someone asked about meditation. Prabhupada asked, what do you mean by meditation? Sitting alone quietly. How is it possible? Prabhupada asked, is there any experience that the mind is not acting when you sit silently? You have to engage your mind in something. What do you engage in it? Yes, Prabhupada replied, that is Krishna. We engage our mind in Krishna, the beautiful Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not only simple engage the mind, but engaging the mind and in action with the senses, because the mind is acting without our senses. Our mind said, let's go to that newly started ISKCON society. So our legs carried you. So your legs carried you here. So mind, thinking, feeling, willing. These are the functions of mind. You have to fix up your mind, not only thinking of Krishna, but also working for Krishna, feeling for Krishna. That is complete meditation. Hare Krishna. I would like to stop here, Mataji. I think many people joined. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Sorry, Mataji, I was on mute and talking. Sorry. Thank you so much, Vinaya Mataji. Mataji, would anybody like to start from reading? Someone asked if you're Christian.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandot Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Can I read, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Altangi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Yes, Mataji, please, Mataji.
Someone asked if a Christian, by reading the Bible and following Jesus' words, required a spiritual master. As soon as you read the Bible, Prabhupada replied, that means you are following the instructions of Lord Jesus Christ. So where is the opportunity of being without a spiritual master? I was referring to a living spiritual master. Prabhupada, you may accept this spiritual master or that spiritual master. That is a different thing. But you have to accept. When you read the Bible, that means you are following the spiritual master represented by some priest or clergymen in the line of Lord Jesus Christ. So in any case, you have to follow a spiritual master. That's no question of being without a spiritual master. Is that clear? Many different sects of Christianity interpret the Bible in different ways. Prabhupada, there cannot be any interpretation in the Bible. Then there is no authority. Just like this is a watch. Everyone has called it a watch. But if I call it a spectacle, then what is the value of my being a spiritual master? I am misleading. It is a watch, and that I must say. This intelligence you must have. Who is a pseudo spiritual master and a real spiritual master? Otherwise, you will be cheated, and that is being done. Everyone is interpreting in his own way. There are thousands of editions of the Bhagavad Gita, and they have tried to interpret it in their own way. All nonsense. They should all be thrown away. Simply you have to read the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Then you will understand. If anyone can understand the clear passage, just like the Bible, God said, "Let there be creation." And there was creation. What is the question of interpretation? Yes, God created, you cannot create. There is opportunity of interpretation. Am I right? In the beginning of the Bible, it is said like that. God said, "Let there be creation." And there was creation. So what is your interpretation? Tell me, what is your interpretation? Can any one of you suggest? One can explain. That is a different thing. But the fact that God created, that will remain. That we cannot change. Now, how the creative process took place, that is explained in the Bhagavatam. First of all, there was sky, then there was sound, then there was this, that. But the primary fact that God created, that will remain in any circumstance. Not the rascal scientist who says, "Oh, there was a chunk and it split up and there was this planet. Perhaps this and likely this." All this nonsense. Why perhaps? Here is clear statement. God created, that's all. Finished. Another guest said he didn't feel subordinate to anyone. Therefore, he didn't feel he had to bow down to anyone. Indirectly, he was criticizing the devotees' offering of obeisances to Prabhupada. It is a material disease, Prabhupada replied, to think that we don't have to bow down. He demonstrated logically that nature forces each of us to be subordinate, to bow down to old age, disease, death, and many other things. Yes, okay, but who or what should I bow down to? Prabhupada, since you are being forced to bow down, now you have to find where you shall be happy even by bowing down. And that is Krishna. Your bowing down will not be stopped because you are meant for that. But if you bow down to Krishna and Krishna's representative, then you become happy. The disciples were submissive, and therefore only to them could the spiritual master impart knowledge of Krishna consciousness. But some of them were also doubtful, and Prabhupada had to convince them with the same logical arguments he used with the outsiders. Devotee, Prabhupada, how do you logically explain to impersonalists the existence of the personality of Godhead? Prabhupada began to explain the three features of the Absolute and compared them to the three features of the sun, namely the sunshine, the sun disk, and the sun god. Using the well-known example, he thoroughly explained the existence of the Supreme Person as a source of all expansions, including the impersonal Brahman. But the devotee was not yet satisfied. How does one explain to such an impersonalist the absolute truth logically? I was told Srila Bhaktivinoda had such a proof. Prabhupada, apart from Bhaktivinoda, try to understand in your common sense. Painstakingly, Prabhupada explained again, this time at greater length. He quoted the Vedanta Sutra verse, Janmadi Yasya Yataha, explaining how everything in existence comes from the Supreme Absolute. Therefore, as we are persons, there must be a Supreme Person, the reservoir of all personality, from whom everything comes. As we experience that our Father is a person, therefore we are persons. Often Prabhupada was simply saying there is God and one should love God. But one student protested why love of God should come in the form of the Krishna consciousness movement. Student: if our first concern should be to serve God or Krishna, why should there be a movement? You might get so caught up in the movement that you're forgetting about serving God. Prabhupada: why am I serving God? This movement means I am serving God. What do you mean by serving? If Krishna says you obey me, and if I say you obey Krishna, is this not service? Student: yes. Prabhupada: so we are doing the same business. Krishna says surrender to me and give up all other engagement and I shall give you protection. And we are saying the same thing, that you surrender to Krishna and will be happy. So we are voluntarily giving service to Krishna. Preaching work is the best service. If you preach rightly. If you preach wrongly, that is disservice. You have to simply say the same thing as Krishna. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. I'll stop and give others a chance to read. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Lalitangi Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji, would anybody like to start reading from student? Okay, Mataji, then I would like to read.
Mataji, shall I read?
Anjana Gopika Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, are you able to see Mataji? I'll make it up a little bit.
Yeah, I can see Mataji. A student. Oh, from where,
Yeah.
From where is student? About the movement, yes?
Yes, Mataji, correct.
A student, but the movement might get in the way of serving Krishna. Prabhupada. It is service to Krishna because we have understood what Krishna wants. We are preaching the same things. The student, was there always a kind of movement? Prabhupada, yes, the movement is always there, just like in Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, my dear Arjuna, whenever people are misguided and there is too much irreligiosity, at that time I appear myself. The material world is such that if something is set right, still sometime it will be destroyed. Therefore, a movement is required. Whatever there is, deterioration of the real truth. But it is the same movement, not a new movement. The movement means God is there. He is great and we are all subordinate. Our duty is to abide by the order of God, then we are happy. The movement is simple. The same movement was preached by Lord Krishna. The same movement was preached by Lord Jesus Christ. The same movement was also preaching simply as accepting the authority or the greatness of the Supreme Lord and engaging oneself. That's all. There is nothing new. Don't try to see something new. It is the oldest because God is the oldest. You are also the oldest and your relationship is also the oldest. Therefore, the movement is also the oldest, but the process adopted is suitable for this time. This is also not new, not manufactured. It is recommended for this age. Just like during the winter season, the process is to protect your body from being affected by cold. Similarly, in this age of Kali Yuga, it is recommended that God realization is only possible by this chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Many of the youngsters who try to catch Prabhupada in contradictions. One boy noted Prabhupada's statement that it was natural for a child to drink milk and not eat the meat of an animal. The boy argued that if Prabhupada emphasized wasn't being natural, then is it natural for a child to grow up, shaved his head and serve God? Or was that just another form of socialization? Another challenger asked why the International Society for Krishna Consciousness was incorporated. Another asked if the sadhu in India who wore long hair and wandered in the woods needed a spiritual master. The question revealed the guest uneasiness. Prabhupada was demanding a full commitment to the truth. They could understand that if they accepted that he was presenting the truth, then they too, like the bright-faced disciple sitting beside them in the crowded temple room, should bow down to Prabhupada and Lord Jagannath, join the movement, shave their head and go out chanting Hare Krishna. At least that was the implication. So those who are deeply wanted to avoid the austerity, the surrender, the uprooting of a whole lifetime of illusion, sought out the flaws, the possible contradictions. But kind and lenient though he was, Prabhupada never demanding that they shave their heads off live live in the temple, continue to defeat their doubting arguments, expose the weakness of their atheistic reasoning, and smash the folly of their material desires. He ruled forth as Krishna's representative, speaking from the blue and gold velvet Vyasasana in the front room of the Seattle house. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Anjana Mataji. Mataji, if anybody would like to read from next woman I wish to see. Okay, then I'll read, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I wish to see proofs of afterlife in writing so that I can read it and study it and examine it carefully. Is it available in writing? Prabhupada, read Bhagavad Gita. You will understand everything. A woman, that's 68 volumes. Prabhupada, no, Bhagavad Gita is only one volume only. 18 chapters, 700 verses. You can read it in 3 days. It is not very difficult. We have published Bhagavad Gita as it is, and I think if you read it, you will get so many nice information. After reading Bhagavad Gita, you read Srimad Bhagavatam, then you get further enlightenment. Then you read teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and you get further enlightenment. And for general information, we have this Back to Godhead. You can read. It is not that simply we are talking. We are backed by sufficient knowledge and literature. And so it went into the evening 9 o'clock, turned to 10 o'clock, and 10 o'clock to 10:30. Is Bhakti Yoga for everyone? What about Kundalini Yoga? Why did Krishna ask Arjuna to fight? What about Christ consciousness? What about the Trinity? Prabhupada was completely absorbed in the defeating arguments and answering questions about Krishna, a samadhi of defeat on behalf of his Lord Krishna. Yes, he did expect them. If there were gentlemen to accept his presentation as correct and to make a real commitment to Krishna consciousness. So here is the offering. Prabhupada asked, take Krishna consciousness, now it is your choice. If you can take it, it is good. If you don't take it, that is your misfortune. Difficulty? I am asking this. You have asked so many questions of me. Is there any difficulty to accept this formula? And the assembled guests and devotees murmured in reply, no. So why don't you take it? Prabhupada laughed. It is so simple, nice. Try to understand by your knowledge. We are not pushing forcibly. You have got your intelligence, argument, logic, everything. But you will find it sublime. The author of Chaitanya Charitamrita says that we are placing it for your judgment, not that we are pushing it by force. Sometimes it is said that Mohammedans propagate their religion by holding a sword in one hand and the Quran in other hand. Either you accept Quran or there is a sword for you. But Krishna consciousness is not like that. It is placed for your judgment. And if you like, you can accept. Otherwise, I came here empty-handed. I shall go back empty-handed. There is no loss, no gain. Prabhupada laughed with satisfaction of the completely surrendered servant. Then he asked them all to chant Hare Krishna. Tamal Krishna. At that point, I could recognize that Prabhupada was my complete Lord and Master. Whenever he would get up from the Vyasasana, I would just grip his feet and hold them and hold them. I would hold his feet at my head and I wouldn't let him walk at all. I was so eager to be at Prabhupada's lotus feet. I wanted to be with him as much as I could. I would feel very torn apart when he would go to another temple. I remember sometimes after the program, he would finish eating a piece of food and would throw the peel on the floor. He would all jump for it and fight with each other in front of the altar and Prabhupada. We would be scrapping around like little puppies. Prabhupada would lean back and laugh. He thought we were making very nice advancement by this. A word got around that Prabhupada, whose disciples were chanting downtown every day, was himself chanting Hare Krishna and speaking in the temple on Roosevelt Way. A local TV station came out one evening to film the proceedings, bringing with cameras, microphones, and bright lights into the temple room and shooting Lord Jagannath, the devotees dancing and singing, and experts of Prabhupada speaking. The following day, they turned to Prabhupada's apartment and filmed him playing harmonium and speaking with a woman interviewer. They turned their cameras on his personal altar with the close-ups of his Radha Krishna deities as well as the covers of his books, Bhagavad Gita as it is, and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. When Prabhupada saw the footage on color TV a few minutes of the evening news, he thought it was good. He wrote to the devotees in London, "This newscast should help our movement here in Seattle, as so many people will see and come to our temple. You can try for television appearances there also if possible." Matajis, I would like to stop here. Thank you for this opportunity, Matajis. And I request anybody would like to continue from next paragraph after the TV showing. So, okay, Matajis. Then we would wind up our reading session today up to this paragraph. And I would like to request all the Matajis, can you share whatever you feel relevant or anything related to our reading? So I would request all the Matajis, Kamoriki Mataji, Laltangi Mataji, Vinaya Mataji, Anjana Gopika Mataji, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Sujata Mataji. And I think Priti Mataji is a little bit busy. So Matajis, can anybody start sharing your realizations?
Hare Krishna Mataji, the entire reading was very wonderful.
Thank you so much, Priti Mataji. Thank you.
It was very, very wonderful to hear, and I was just, of course, there are so many things everyone can share, but I just thought of bringing up 2 points. One is how Prabhupada was saying about the movement toward the end, where he was saying that this movement is, I've come here to give you something based on scripture. There is evidence everywhere. You can just read Bhagavad Gita even in 3 days. Just take 3 days and you'll understand everything. I'm not giving something new. I'm giving you what is good. And if you want to take, you take. If you don't want to take, that's your loss. I'm not losing anything in this. So that is very true, because this Krishna consciousness, it is such a authentic and very valid shastric process. Not only is it shastric, but even the person who was giving this, Srila Prabhupada, was a perfect acharya. In the sense, he was doing what he was doing, and he just lived as per the teachings of the scriptures. He just didn't make up anything, or he was very genuine. He was not like, you give me this so much and I will give you this. It was not like that. He was just coming and giving out of his own causeless mercy. I thought that was very nice, the way he handled talking to that woman. The second thing that I was hearing is that the example of the piano. That was nice. How, when the sound vibration is done by anyone, it has the same potency. So I really liked that analogy that Prabhupada was giving right there. So I just wanted to say about these two things, Mataji. I know there is so much more, everyone.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, well said, Mataji. Well said. Yes, Srila Prabhupada is telling the same thing, and he has also knowledge of Bible, because he read in his college days and the Quran, and he is telling that the Muslims, there is a kind of threatening the people, having the sword in one hand and one hand in Quran, and that pushing the people, forcing the people. If you are not going, you will be died. You will be dead. So this is the attitude of other cultures, and Srila Prabhupada very systematically, very nicely, and in a scientific manner, he explains. True, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. Yes, Mataji, Preeti Mataji.
No, I just said thank you for adding.
Thank you, Mataji. In spite of your busyness, also you listen and you share your thoughts, Mataji. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I would like to share my thoughts, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So it was very nice reading, Mataji. As Preeti Vilasni Mataji said, it was so beautiful reading today, and I would like to share some of the points that I really liked. At the beginning of the discussion, when we were reading, we were seeing that how Prabhupada was going for a walk in the park. And there we saw that one person was in the, I think it was in the river, Mataji, I don't know what, there he was catching the fish, and that person was calling Prabhupada, would you like to join me for the dinner? Then the Prabhupada said, no, you enjoy. Then after moving little bit forward to going away from that person, he was telling, you enjoy and you suffer. It was so nice. And then again here you can see that he was talking about the evening program and how people gathered, and so many people came, and after Hare Krishna Mantra, some people were asking questions. And again, Prabhupada was talking about how this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago, and he brought the Krishna conscious movement, and this is not sentimental. This is the one which we have with the proofs. We have everything. Reference to everything. What we are doing, it is not the sentimental. You think that people are dancing here as a mad people? No, they are not the crazy people who are dancing. They are the intelligent people who are taking the part of dancing. It's not the crazy people who are dancing like you see outside people are dancing. It's not like that. Prabhupada was explaining very nicely over there, and Prabhupada was also talking that we are part and parcel of the God, and God is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and if you think body, and if the hand is there, if it is connected to the body, then only the hand has a value. Otherwise, it is no having value. If we are not connected to this Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we don't have any value. And he was giving an example of a machine, typewriting machine. If a screw is connected to the typewriting machine, then it is having that value. Otherwise, it is useless. The screw does not have any value. So once we are connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and serving Him then only we are complete. Otherwise, we are not at all complete. Our life is waste. And then again, we can see that how Prabhupada gathering, and there were so many people who usually comes and ask the questions to Prabhupada. And there were some people like who were like drug addicts, and also the students, and many people. And there was one person who was asking about the sound Om. If we say there is any connection to that, how we can communicate with that word. Then Prabhupada was explaining very nicely about Hare Krishna. When you say Hare Krishna, that means you are talking to Krishna. It is sounded like it is a Sanskrit word, can be sounded in English or in a Sanskrit also. It doesn't mean that it can be sounded only like this. Even an English person can sound it. Like if you see, there are a boys over there who are also sounding in English, and who can also sound in Sanskrit. And he was giving an example of a piano over there, where the piano, whoever clicks the piano, that gives the sound, and that sound is the same. It's not different for each person. And then he was also telling that, is that a meditation? Yes, it is a meditation which controls the mind, and also not only controls the mind and engages the mind in the practical way. And he was giving very nice example, like if I am thinking about mind is in action with the senses, because the mind is acting with our senses. Our mind says, let's go to the temple, and our legs will carry over there. So this is we have to fix our mind in thinking of Krishna. So then that is a complete meditation. It's not just like that. The thing of meditation means to fixing our mind in Krishna consciousness. So then again he was also talking about the Bible, and again here we can also see that Prabhupada is talking about and then again Bhagavad Gita also. There are so many Bhagavad Gitas around you can find, but it is not the proper. It is not any proper thing, because they are all interrupted. All the things are done, but whatever the Bhagavad Gita we have is as it is. So he was giving that also. He was telling, and also again we can see that how Bhagavad Gita can be read only in 3 days. That was really shocking. And it is so nicely Prabhupada was saying we can read whole Bhagavad Gita in 3 days. I mean, that means it is with the perfect and translation words. Very nice. We can try once. I'm like, when Prabhupada said that, I was thinking we can try that once for me at least. I would like to try Mataji. It was so nice. It was heart touching for me. And then again here we can see that, like how the scientists say everything, like, you know, perhaps that in Bhagavad Gita it's not like that. Or anything, when we say something in Krishna consciousness, it is not instant. It's not like that. It is true. It has happened somewhere. It is told by Krishna. It is there in scriptures. It's not like, oh, I may think. It's not like interruption from anybody. It is directly through the God. It came from the God. So it's like that. And then again Prabhupada was talking about then I'm missing Mataji. I want to share. In this Kali Yuga, that's the only process is chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. With this chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra only, we can go back to Godhead. That's the thing only. And also, Mataji, these are my points I missed. I was thinking to share some more, but I forgot in between, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautiful reading, Mataji. And that at the end, that whatever that program was there, and it was printed in the news, and Prabhupada was feeling so happy that we can spread more in Seattle about Krishna consciousness. That was very nice, Mataji. Thank you. If I can remember anything at the end, I will share, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Vinaya Mataji. Hari Bol. Awesome, Mataji. You shared most of our readings of today's class, Mataji. And we are waiting for your experience of reading Bhagavad Gita within 3 days, Mataji. We will see your experience, and we will also start, Mataji. And surely, Mataji, Yes, Mataji. And lastly, we will be waiting for your more realizations too, Mataji. Thank you so much, Vinaya Mataji. It was nice, Mataji. So nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji, for giving opportunity.
Anjana Gopika Mataji, Laitangi Mataji, Kamariki Mataji, Mataji, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Can you please share your realizations too?
Yeah, yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Very, very nice reading, Mataji. Every session we feel that. We read a few pages and we feel, the presence of Srila Prabhupada. So, we were reading, thinking we are very, very grateful to Satsarup Maharaj for having compiled this. So that, we get the experience of being with Prabhupada. And also seeing Prabhupada through this different disciples' vision. So that was one thought. And then, so how he established here, this is like a drop in the ocean. So when he came here, there were no Indians here. He was one of the first Indians when the immigration laws, I think they relaxed the immigration laws only in 1955 or 60, like that. Then few people started coming, and then Prabhupada came in 1965. You know that. So see, the whole audience is totally, new American young people, ready with so many questions. So and how he logically answers, I really admired that. That one disciple asking about, logically explaining the personality of Godhead. And he said about the sun example, sun disk, sun rays, sun disk, and then the sun person, sun god. And again, when he asked, again he painstakingly explained it, with this time more in detail. Establishing how that Krishna is a supreme person, like how we are a person, our father is a person. And also I liked how he's using the watch example to say that, see, this is a watch, and if I say this is a watch, then I'm just repeating, and if I say it's a spectacle, then I'm a pseudo system master. So he says that you need to be intelligent to know who's pseudo and who's not. So in answering the question to how Bible is interpreted, and how he's confidently he's telling that all Bhagavad Gita, there's no point in reading the interpreted versions of Bhagavad Gita, but we need to read Bhagavad Gita as it is. It is very clear. We just repeat what Krishna is saying. So, in that disciple, he's bringing out the point of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He's telling, aside from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, see from your common sense. So that's so nice. Like from different angles, different questions, and different levels of questions, and how he answers them with patience, with boldness, with counter questioning their argument and defeating them. Finally, so that bold presentation was wonderful, Mataji. And after reading, we also feel like how Tamal Krishna Maharaj feels, that he's saying that he wants to catch the lotus feet of Prabhupada, and he doesn't want to let Prabhupada go, and wherever he goes, he wants to go with him. So Satsarup Maharaj has written it very nicely, very nicely. Like when we read these things and we appreciate what Prabhupada has done. Now to bring one Westerner, how difficult it is, we know. It's because we are not able to answer their questions in a logical way, in a non-judgmental, in a non-prejudiced way, and we are not able to, keep their faith on us. It takes a long time for them to put the faith on us, and then they start coming, they start following. We don't have patience to wait. But Prabhupada, how nicely he did it, and how everybody, all the Westerners' questions are satisfied, and how in a very short time he brought them to, a great level of spiritual advancement because of his purity and compassion, and at the same time, caring for them. I would say that was main thing that I found from this reading, Mataji. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you so much for conducting this call. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Laltaji Mataji. It is very beautiful summarizing Mataji of a Guru and the Tamal Krishna Goswamis, and whatever you said, Mataji, about the Guru's importance, how he differentiates between how the disciple should differentiate between the real Guru and the pseudo Guru, with the example of watch. That is very fantastic, Mataji. And as Tamal Krishna Goswami is, what we can say, how he feels when Guru or Srila Prabhupada is not with him, he feels like he is torn apart. Yeah, very nicely said, Mataji. While you are sharing your realizations, Mataji, I just add to some of your part of your realizations. I want to add something, Mataji. Like in old Back to Godhead magazines, Mataji, I have read Srila Prabhupada is telling how to recognize or how to identify a real Guru, not blindly or not saying that so many are following this Guru and so I shall also follow this Guru. For this, he is telling example of how a person should have minimum basic knowledge of everything. For example, he is telling if we want to make some jewelry from out of gold, so we go to gold shop, we ask so many questions and we ask, is it the gold is 22 carat, 24 carat, and what are they are mixing in the gold to make the ornaments very nicely. All these things we ask for the gold jewelry merchant, how we are going to get a good price with a good quantity and a good what we can say quality of gold ornaments. In the same way, he is telling you should not blindly select a guru. You should also scrutinizingly see him, test him, then only you have to select him. For this, you should have basic spiritual knowledge. Then only you can trust him and you can also feel that he is a genuine guru. How he is telling the example of watch. And again, coming to yesterday, Mataji, there is a conversation between my friend and on the topic of Guru. What is the importance of Guru? How is Guru a very elevated person? Because when we take not only Americans, Mataji, can you please mute yourself, Mataji? Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I unmuted.
Can you please mute yourself? Thank you so much, Mataji. So, as you are telling, it is very hard, really, it is very hard to convert a very strong American who has very strong faith in his Christianity and bring him back to track on Krishna conscious movement. It is very difficult task and it is not very easy, and overnight they cannot change, or within a 1 year also it is very difficult to change. But Srila Prabhupada, because he is what we can say, he lives the life as per the scriptures. So that is why by seeing him as an example, whatever there in the scriptures, he is living like that. By seeing himself, Americans are able to change. But as per myself, it is very difficult to change the Americans. On the same topic, we are having a discussion with my friend. So we are telling that it's because of Guru, how I can tell this, because of Guru's capabilities, his dedication, his purity, only we can change. At least in our family members only we cannot change. With our example, how can we change others? It is very difficult to change our children, our husband. But Guru, he is changing so many people by making his life example to them. So this was a little discussion between my friend and myself, Mataji, yesterday night, and a coincidence we are reading the same here, Mataji, and I got to remember the same talks, Mataji. Thank you so much, Laltangi Mataji, for sharing all this and summarizing very beautifully, Mataji, these points. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for adding so wonderfully what you heard and read about Guru. Thank you so much, Mataji. I'm so sorry I have to drop in 5 minutes, Mataji. I want to quickly hear the other Mataji's relations also.
Sure, Mataji. Sure. Thank you so much, Mataji. Kamadiki Mataji, Vindagopika Mataji, Anjana Gopika Mataji. Can you please, Mataji, share your realizations too?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
When
Krishna.
Prabhupada was on a walk, morning walk, and they were walking in a park, and then they came upon one spot that there were some nice roses and some birds are there, peacocks were there. And so then Prabhupada remembered, but then he said, there are so many features. So there they have all these nice flowers and very beautiful birds, like a peacock and cuckoos, swans and things like that. So then it discussed that there are so many tirthas, the holy places. So and then he said about in India there are so many places, tirthas. But then here in America, it says that wherever pure devotees goes, make the place of pilgrimage. So Prabhupada traveled all over, and then the 22nd Avenue is a place of pilgrimage. And the Tompkins State Park, there's a tree that Prabhupada was chanting underneath. So on the tree is written that this is a Hare Krishna tree. So Prabhupada was chanting there. And so I haven't gone there. I want to go sometimes. So there is also tirtha. From the New York, the devotees, they used to go there after the New York Rath Yatra. Then the next day they go to there and they chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna tree like that. So there is also a tirtha wherever Prabhupada visited, and that place is tirtha. Even outside of India, we have all these tirthas all over the world now. Because when Prabhupada went, and after Prabhupada's disciples, sincere disciples, they have traveling and then installing deities, and there are so many things all over the world now. So because of Prabhupada, all these are manifested. That's my realization. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Beautiful, Kamaliki Mataji. I was just memorizing on the Tirtha part only, Mataji, and you just said it, Mataji. Yeah, we have so many places in America too, as Prabhupada landed and touched the ground with his lotus feet. Yes, Mataji, these are the 26th Avenue, Tompkins Square Park, and Golden Gate Park, Straw Lake, then Venice Beach or Voluntary Park. Yes, Mataji. So, by Prabhupada's mercy, we should all go and visit and have the darshan of these holy places in America, Mataji. That is true. We are running back. We are thinking that there are so many places in India, but we are staying here, by mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, one day we should go, Mataji. That is true. Thank you, Mataji.
And there was one devotee has mentioned on a WhatsApp shared some message that years ago, before Prabhupada even came here, and they were America and Russia. They were preparing for the fight, and it would be like a World War fight. War.
Okay.
And they have all the weapons and everything was ready to, shoot. But then what happened? That Prabhupada just landed in Boston, and that very same day everything stopped.
Oh, okay. 1965, Mataji, when he landed, Prabhupada. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Prabhupada just landed on Boston, and he's American man. And somehow that stopped, the war stopped. Otherwise it would have been World War III.
Oh, wow, very nice. Hari Bol, Mataji. Hari Bol, very nice. So that big fight was stopped because of Prabhupada's landing. Very nice.
Yes, he just stepped on the land, and at the same day everything was stopped.
Thank you so much, Kamodiki Mataji, for sharing these two, Mataji. It was very nice to hear that, Mataji. A big disaster and a big war and huge loss is stopped by Prabhupada. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you so much, Kamodiki Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving this reading Prabhupada Lilamrta and keep it going on. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Even though I am not so much of contribution, but still, I like to
Mataji,
hear.
your presence will make the difference, Mataji. You are a pure devotee, and all the pure devotees on the call, because of all their mercies, we are running, Mataji. And Prabhupada's mercy, we are able to do this, Mataji. And every Friday we are getting this association of hearing Lilamrta with all your and so sincerity, Mataji, your devotion. Thank you so much, Kamodiki Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to Vinaya Mataji, Supriya Mataji, Kamutiki Mataji, and Lalitangi Mataji for your deep devotional association.
Preeti Mataji too, Mataji. Preeti Mataji.
Preeti Vilasini Gopi. She's the head, Lalitangi and Vishakha Sakhi in our group. So I want to almost all point shared by all Vaishnava. I want to add one thing that what is the power of Srila Gurudev? That my mom's health is so bad. So before 2 weeks or no, before 3 weeks, I just prayed to Jaipataka Maharaj is passing for washroom very nearly. I just prayed to lotus feet of Jaipataka Maharaj, and so I think with Jaipataka Maharaj and Radhanath Maharaj are best friends. So we saw them in a Bhaktivedanta hospital. So I just prayed that whatever for my ma, please pray to Shri Radha Madan Mohan Shri Gaur Nitai. And again, after coming washroom, Maharaj is going nearby my where I am sitting. Again, I touch the lotus feet of Shri Jaipataka Maharaj, and I pray. I just doubt that whether Jaipataka Maharaj is hear my prayer or not. And suddenly Jaipataka Maharaj is turned the face, so that we should not doubt that our prayers should be heard by our Guru Deva, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Parampara. And second thing, so that we should, whether it's Jaipataka Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, Bhakti Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Niranjan Maharaj, whenever we are in difficulties, material difficulties, we just pray to them that give a mercy, give a bhakti and bhakti only, not ask material things, and whatever good for us. And yes, they hear the prayers. This is my experience. And the second thing I want to say to Srila Prabhupada, that when Srila Prabhupada is cooking for 25 or 28 Vaishnava, young Vaishnava, dal, chapati, rice, sabji, and if afternoon time they come and eat the prasadam, and in home when we cook prasadam for 50 or 70 Vaishnava, and we become tired. Prasadam is easy to cook for 50 or 60 Vaishnava or 80 Vaishnava, but cleaning kitchen is very hard. So that we become tired at the age of 52. And Srila Prabhupada is cooking, cleaning, singing bhajana and given a class, everything one-handed at the age of 72, sorry. And then that day, one Prabhuji is coming little late for prasadam, and he sees that Srila Prabhupada is cleaning vessels, and Srila Prabhupada is praying to Shri Vrindavan, Radha Vrindavanasari, that please somebody will help me. And that Prabhuji is not eating prasadam, I forgot that Prabhuji name, and he helps Srila Prabhupada for cleaning all the pots and vessels. So that prayers is always here by our Guru Deva, Srila Prabhupada, our Panchatattva, and whether it's prayers by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, or whether it's like a small Vaishnava like us. So we should not doubt that prayers is not here by our Guru or Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for all Vaishnava association.
Very heart-touching, Vrindagopika Mataji, very heart-touching. With your personal realizations and personal experience, very moving, Mataji. The importance of Guru and how they are in touch with disciples, how they think every time of disciples. Very heart-touching, Mataji. Thank you so much, Vrindagopika Mataji.
Whether they say very far or but they always reciprocate with us. That is the ball of Dandavat.
Yes, Mataji, yes. That is true. Thank you so much, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, for sharing your personal experience and giving us again all hope to have faith in Guru and our parampara. It is very wonderful, Mataji, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Thank you so much. So, Mataji, I hope everybody completed today's reading. It was really nice, Mataji. Everybody shared and we did not left anything turned on without sharing, Mataji. So everything is shared. So there is nothing for me, Mataji. I shared a little bit of my realization, Mataji. So hoping to see you all next Friday, Mataji. With this, I would like to pay my obeisances to all the Matajis who are present on the call. Thank you so much, Mataji. Vancha kalpa tarubhyasya kripa sindho vyayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। रामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास
ठाकुर की जय।
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
सुप्रिया माताजी की जय।
जय प्रभुपाद लीलामृत की जय।
हरे कृष्णा टू विनया माताजी, कमोदकी माताजी, ललिता जी माताजी, प्रीति माताजी, वृंद गोपिका माताजी,
सुप्रिया माताजी।
Thank you so much.
Supriya Mataji ki jai. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.